Talking of actors,
Yes.
we met an actor, and I was on stage, and you were like, you came running upstairs, really excited. You went, guess what?
Yeah.
And there was me cranking my brain, being like, who is this? Who is this?
Yeah, I need to explain how this went down because this was actually it was phenomenal. Shh, don't tell Mum. Hello and welcome to Don't Tell Mum. My name's Barney.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is the 21st most listened to parenting podcast in
UAE, baby.
You forgot. She was like,
No, I did say it, but I was like, do I say UAE or do I say United Dubai Emirates?
What do you think UAE stands for?
United.
Yes.
Hang on.
UAE.
Yeah, I said this.
Yeah, go on.
United.
Dying.
Can I just say something? I went to a stage school. I did not learn geography.
Here come the excuses.
Then what? So my friend turned around. She went, "But Jamie, you don't learn about countries when you do geography." I was like, "I swear you do."
You don't really. You learn about sedimentary rock and fault lines and plates and types of rocks and clouds. And I don't think I actually ever learned about capital cities of countries in geography class. I don't think I ever did.
Really?
I don't think I ever did. Even when you're little.
See, I thought, because I just got back from Saint-Tropez, and I thought Saint-Tropez was in
Just
Italy.
got back from Saint-Tropez.
No, I thought it was in Italy. I was there for work. It was not luxury. I wish I could have afforded things to eat there, but you know what I got?
Tell me about it.
I went to the grocery store, I went to the spa, and I bought some bread. And that's all I could afford.
Croissants. They're the best out there.
I was just so happy that I was staying in an Airbnb that had a supply of 6 coffees. So
nice.
I was only allowed 6 coffees for 2 days.
Jeez. I mean, it was, so it's United Arab Emirates.
That is what I was going to say.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say. Oh, that's what I thought. By the way, on the train on the way here, me and Jamie didn't actually come into town together today to come and record this episode.
We've actually split up.
Oh, shush. We came in separately because I went to the dentist beforehand. We'll get to that in a little bit. But on the train here, when I got on the train from where the dentist was to get to King's Cross, the lady that was sat next to me, I joined the train, sat down next to this lady who moved her bag very, ugh.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, reluctantly. There we go. Good word. And when I sat down next to her, she just insisted on leaning as far away from me as possible and looked out the window. So not even looking at me. So I'm sat there looking at her going, the fuck, do I smell or something? What the hell is it? And she's just constantly furthering herself away from me and just putting her head out the window.
Well, maybe she's really religious. She's not allowed to sit next to men. No, because that's a
What
thing,
are you
isn't
talking
it?
about?
That's a thing.
Can't sit next to men. Why would they sit down next to an empty seat then if you can't sit next to a man?
Because she's...
I don't think there's any religion where you can't sit next to a man.
Guys, slide into our DMs.
No,
if
don't.
There is.
Don't. Right? Just don't.
I'm serious.
Slide into your DMs.
Slide into the DMs and let us know if it's a possibility that there is a religion that you're not allowed to sit next to men on public transport.
What a random CTA call to action.
I'm going to add this as a poll underneath this Spotify. If you're listening to this on Spotify,
oh my goodness,
vote in the poll because I'd like to see the responses. Please do that because we love responses. And talking of responses,
yes. Yeah.
We got a response.
We did. Do you want me to read it out?
Yes, please.
Oh, mate. We got a lovely email from someone who wanted to chime in on the last episode that we aired, which, according to Today, a few days ago was Alison Scott Wright's The Magic Sleep Fairies episode. Mm-hmm. And we got an email from a lovely lady called Lauren, who basically wanted to chat a little bit more about the folic acid incidents that Alison Scott Wright was mentioning on the podcast episode. She was essentially saying that too much folic acid can lead to babies having tongue tie. There's kind of correlations there. It's not an official diagnosis. No. It's just people are starting to see a correlation between parents,
if you have too much,
mothers taking a lot of folic acid, which is recommended by doctors, and that leading to tongue tie. So,
and if it's dependent on the levels, because every person is different when it comes to your levels and what you need vitamin wise. For instance, you might be low in iron, so you might need a supplement for that, but you might have too much iron. So if you're taking a supplement without realizing you need the supplement,
exactly,
it can have worse effects.
Yeah, because you might already have plenty of that in your system, and thus by taking a supplement, just because doctors are like, oh, you got to keep your levels up of this, you might exceed the necessary dose. So Lauren put that my daughter, who turned 3 in February, she's about a year older than Rocket, had to have spine surgery when she was young because she discovered that they discovered that she had a split spinal cord malformation, which means her spinal cord splits in two at the bottom. My God, I have back problems, and so does Jamie, actually, and I can definitely feel that pain right now. Her nerves in her lower back were slightly tethered, and she had a fatty bit in between the split. She had to have this removed and her nerves untethered so that this didn't cause any issues with anything waist down, such as legs, ankles, or bowel movements, or even bladder control.
Wow.
They told me that this was because my natural folate level was low when I fell pregnant, which I obviously didn't know. And I fell pregnant in lockdown, which meant that, there wasn't something that needed checking before pregnancy. They told me that if I was to fall pregnant again, I have to make sure that I'm taking folic acid while trying, as it is likely to happen again. Since then, I've been having regular checkups, and it seems that I've naturally have a low folate level. So I'm now diagnosed with folate deficiency anemia, and I have to take folic acid every day. So it's so unheard of, and it's not really spoken about enough. And maybe that's something else that Alison could look into. And she says, love the pod. Thanks so much, Lauren. Really appreciate
I will forward that over
words.
to Alison so she can actually respond to that if that's possible.
For sure. And also, this is all about balance. Like the chemicals, hormones running through your body, especially when you're pregnant, they alter a lot. It's all about balance in your body. So the fact that we're saying that folic acid can lead to things like tongue tie doesn't actually mean you shouldn't take it. It just means that you should know about your levels. So you getting your levels checked now so that you understand your body a bit better. They must have kind of a way of diagnosing these things and obviously testing the levels in your system.
Well, I remember when we had Rocket, before we did, when you did the first check, you could get your bloods tested to see if you could potentially have, if there was a deficiency with the chromosomes or anything, for instance, Down syndrome, check. I think the regularity of NHS does that.
That's the 6-week one, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get deeper checks at Harley Street, and I think it's like £200 to get checked over just to make sure everything is good. And I remember one of my friends had it on her first birth, and then she didn't have it on the second because she trusted whatever would happen would happen. But I definitely think as a female, it's always good to have like a little bit of an MOT if you are going into
pregnancy, like something that's going to shift your hormones anyway.
And also, I feel like when you are trying for a baby, you're naturally more stressed because you're checking and your nerves are up, etc. And it's almost harder than they always say. Like, it's easier to fall pregnant when you don't want to fall pregnant than the other way around.
Yeah.
And
I think it's
honestly with the stress. Yeah,
it's a mental thing. It's partly a mental game, guys.
We never planned pregnancy.
We didn't.
So I just
we're
felt
very
like,
fortunate.
Yeah, but it might be really hard for us to get pregnant, but we wouldn't know because we never actually gone, let's go and try and get pregnant.
Sure, yeah.
So we actually, maybe it is a struggle for us, maybe.
And we didn't know, and we just got lucky. You just don't know.
And you go and get these tests done and you find out things all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I don't know whether I would actually go and get my levels checked because would it stress me out more, basically?
Oh, it's a good question. I mean, is this not a situation where it's better to know than not know? Because imagine you didn't know and
like
you had
HIV,
low levels.
all those people that,
Dude,
I'm just not going to get
what?
tested. No, okay, did you ever have this thing when you were like not in a relationship and you'd go and get an STI check?
Yeah.
And you'd always get so scared that you'd have HIV because your parents drummed into you because they grew up with it in the 60s, 70s.
Oh, it's because they grew up when it was rife.
Yeah, and they were like, you never want to have sex unprotected because you'll have HIV and die.
Yeah.
Literally like that. So I was always so fearful of always getting tested. So every time I slept with somebody, I would go get tested.
Oh,
but
really?
I'd be so terrified about the blood test because I was like, I don't even want to know if I've got a death warrant. I'm signing a death warrant to go in and get my bloods tested. But now you can live with the disease. You can still have babies with the disease.
Yeah, of course,
it's incredible how much we've come on
they have tablets
since
now.
when I was in my 20s. So yeah, but I just remember having that fear of I'd rather not know than know.
The STI fear. It was a big thing. And
Did you have it?
What, did I get checked?
No, did you have STI fear of like getting scared?
Fear. Yeah, I mean, you have fear of whenever you get tested for something, if you then go in and you get the results, you're like, oh God, do I really have to go and get these results?
You don't have to get the results. They'll email you.
It's almost like I don't want to know. Like when I was at university, when we had to get STI checked, like you had to go in and they go and sit you down.
Oh, I never had that.
So let's go through your test results. And you're like, oh.
Mine would be like a text and it would just be like, ding, and somebody would just see it.
Yeah.
No, but I'd always have my messages open, so you'd always seen it on my screenshots.
Did you have
it popped
anything
up one
like
day.
Did you ever get anything where they like
I'm not saying that
syphilis?
on the podcast. No. it's always better to know than not know, like you said.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Now, I think that today's episode that we, set out for on our lovely rug that we're loving, we need to add something, I think. Do you want to start thinking about getting our next piece of furniture for the podcast?
Well,
layout?
if people shared the podcast, then maybe we could afford to get another item of...
You savage! What piece of furniture should we get next that relates to kind of a kid's toy room? So like maybe like a giant crayon or a little table or something. If you have any items, to mind, or a Skeletrix
Or
track.
if you guys actually
Excuse me?
I would like to invest
I was
in
saying something.
people that are listening to the podcast. I would love to invest in you. So if you are selling products, if you are selling products, oh my God, I can't say the word.
Products.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
God.
Are you all right?
I am okay. If you do sell your own products, we would love to invest in you. We would like to say thank you by... If you have something that could go in this room, please send it to us.
That would be cool, actually, if we got someone who listens to this podcast who makes things like a crocheted bear. I don't know. Just like, let's think like kids' broom, all that kind of stuff. And if you have anything in mind, just email us at itsthebanksters@gmail.com. That's itsthebanksters with 2 S's at gmail.com. And send us a picture or send us a link and we'll check it out and see if we can get it for the room. Don't send us something that's like £8,000, by the way, guys. Keep it simple, keep it light, keep it fresh. Don't send us a link to something that's like a 20 grand table.
We want to invest back.
Well, yeah, invest it back into the pod, make things better, make things a bit more aesthetically pleasing for you, those of you who are watching on YouTube right now. So, well, like I was saying, for this episode, I felt like I dressed up quite nicely for this episode. We were getting dressed together in the bedroom this morning, and I was like, I'm going to wear some cool things. So I've got my white Sandro jeans on, my favourite jeans. I've got a nice, knitted jumper on. You came dressed as Pablo Picasso's vomit.
Well,
what happened?
Before we go into that, the only thing ruining your outfit right now is your Levi's hat. You've got such a good head of hair. No, it ruins the outfit. It's such a bougie outfit, and you throw a Levi's cap on.
I like a Levi's cap.
Give me the Levi's cap.
I'm not giving you the hat. No, I'm not giving you the hat, actually.
It looks so nice without it. Look how much nicer
How
you
are
look
you
without
judging
it.
me right now when you literally look like a bogey that's been put onto
I walked
a
into
wall
here and
piece of art?
everyone complimented my outfit.
It's so mental. It's like so mental. Where is it from, by the way?
This is from Temu.
Oh no, she said it.
I didn't buy it. It was a gift from my mother because my mum is obsessed
she bought
with Temu.
you something from Temu.
She bought me like loads of items for my birthday, and my birthday was at the beginning of April.
I thought it was
and
Boohoo.
it just arrived 3 weeks ago.
I thought it was Boohoo, but actually, I mean, they're as bad as each other, aren't
it's like
they?
£8 from Temu.
Wow. I mean, it's very bold. I'll give you that.
It's good
you know
for
why?
DJing.
Walking around London, I can imagine why people are giving you compliments, like in London, because it's so out there. People are like, be yourself. Oh my God. It's very forward thinking. We live in the sticks, so I'm looking at that and going, everyone else is wearing black and white walking
but
around here.
our area's weird.
It's very it's like Deliverance, the movie, isn't it?
No, they're just, everyone is just stuck in their ways. I have no
is, do you?
idea, and I don't care. But all I know is I love my outfit, and that's okay. But your hat is just not working with the
Oh
outfit
my
today.
goodness, fine, the hat's off.
Hey, look how nice he looks, guys.
Jesus, goodness
There you go.
gracious
If you are
me.
watching this on YouTube, he is looking very stylish with his Sandro jeans. I love those jeans. I feel like you need to go in there and get 6 other colours.
Mate, it's
they
just
look
so
so nice on
expensive,
you.
Sandro. It's
Well, wait until they
mad.
have a sale on, and then you can buy different colours because
I mean, it is
those,
worth it. They are amazing.
The fit on those are just
Banging.
And I did buy you some Sandro, didn't I, for your?
You did. You bought me white joggers, and
Have
they
you
were
taken
great.
those trainers back? You bought
No, but
trainers
I'm
for your
going
birthday.
to. So I need to do that sooner
You
rather
haven't
than
even
later.
tried them on.
Because
That makes me
I
sad.
there's a different style that I wanted.
Oh, okay.
Soz. A style that you found, by the way.
on Under Armour?
There's literally a video of you and Rocket looking at all of the shoes and wondering what to buy me for my birthday. And you pick up a pair of shoes, and I was like, I'd have bought those ones.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's cool. And also, when I was talking to you and your mum about getting a new pair of shoes for my birthday, I did say white ones, and you got me black
She
ones.
still hasn't paid me for that, so technically my gift to you.
Christine, the drama queen.
I
right.
feel like it all merges into one now because we've been borrowing her car for such a long time.
I know, yeah, it's a bit unfair for us to have a dig at her.
Can we update them with the car situation?
Oh my God, yeah, because we did a whole episode about cars. So yeah, go on then.
So we went and did a little bit more digging after our episode. I think that opened our eyes. If you haven't listened to our car episode, go check it out because there are some incredible deals.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago, so it's one before Alison's.
And it's got loads of deals on until the end of July. So definitely check out that episode if you are looking for a
If you're in
family
the market for a new car, yeah.
We ended up looking at Genesis. I can't tell you how hard it is to book in a test drive for Genesis because they only make a certain amount of Genesis
Yeah,
cars.
they just don't have any like showrooms and stuff in the UK. They share a dealership with Hyundai, right? Because they're not actually like a fully legitimately established car brand in the UK yet. They just have no space. Huh?
Legitimately, is that a word?
Yes, legitimately is a word, babe.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, Pablo.
So we went in and we test drove the GV70.
Yes.
And
Interior spectacular.
so okay, during this day, we woke up and we went and we went for the Mercedes. We then went in.
The Mercedes was like a hairdryer in like a nice wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
So like the interior was all right, the exterior was nice, and the engine was literally a hairdryer. Like I felt like it was like struggling the whole time.
Yeah, it didn't feel smooth. And then we went and tried the.
We tried the Volvo XC40, and that was lovely.
Lovely car.
But if you want to get a brand new one, it's going to take you 6 months to get it.
The
And we
only
were
thing
like,
with
no.
Volvo, it still feels not luxury. It doesn't feel like a luxury car.
But it's
It
sturdy.
feels like a sturdy
It feels
car.
like the most solid car that we drove in terms of just like smoothness, quality.
I still think the
and
Genesis was like
Genesis
above
banging.
it. We went
Genesis
into the
was
Generous,
banging.
and I said to Barney, I was driving the car, so I went and drove it first, and I think I offended him because we were sitting in the front seat, and I was like, "It's like an orgasm. Like this is how good it." And it just
so
for some reason
stupid.
it was like the cruise was like it was just so smooth and it's so good, and he didn't get it, and then he sat in the car and he pulled out and he turned and looked at me and went, "Okay, I see what you mean."
No, I didn't
It's
say I see what you meant about the
just-
orgasm. You were like, as soon as you get in this car and as soon as you drive it, you're going to just know that this is the car for us. And I was like, okay. The orgasm thing that she spoke about before, I was like, oh my God, you're such a knob. She was just saying that to like get a rise out of the guy that was like taking us out for the test drive.
Oh, he was so
He was
sassy.
sassy pants. Jermaine, he's great, by the way. Jermaine from Genesis in Catford. It was Catford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We drove to.
If you
He was a
guys
lovely
want
dude.
a really good car salesman for Genesis, go to him because he's a vibe.
fantastic.
I feel like we've like clocked up a little bit of a friendship, me and
Yeah,
me
he
and
was nice,
Jermaine.
but you saying that it was like an orgasm driving it,
It
I was like,
was.
what are
It
you
was
on
that
about, you nutter?
good.
Anyway, I got in the car, drove it, and
compliment.
yeah, like Jamie said, about 10 seconds into driving it, I was like, yeah, that's definitely our car. Because after driving the Volvo, I was like, this is the car for us. Like, this car is brilliant. I'm almost willing to wait for 5 or 6 months and rent a car in the meantime. I even said to the guy, didn't I, at Volvo, I said, if you can give us a courtesy car
Yeah.
until a Volvo becomes available for us, I'll buy it right now.
And then he said no. The next day he
said
calls
no.
me and he's like, "So have you thought about the Volvo?" I went, "Yeah. You're not available for 6 months. We can't wait 6 months for a car." And he went, "Oh yeah, okay." Then."
Oh, yeah.
He went, "What did you go with in the end?" I was like, "The Genesis." And he was like, "What's the delivery time on that?" 3 weeks. Oh yeah. And I was like, flipping out. He was
So yeah,
lovely.
we are still
but
waiting technically for our car, but yeah.
we are
we've
still waiting for the
technically
car.
bought it.
Then Barney went in the next day. But funnily enough, there's 3 different versions of Genesis that you can buy. And we went with the cheaper option just because we've lost a lot of money from the previous car.
Basically,
No,
the
but-
cheap option. Okay, go on.
I just wanted to finish and say, because you keep interrupting me, I feel like a lot on this one, is I read somewhere that actually the cheapest one on Genesis is smoother because of the wheels, the wheel type. And I don't know why that is, because apparently the chunkier wheels are more bumpier on the road.
Doesn't really make any sense. I think the thing that makes more sense with that is that the more expensive one has stiffer suspension. That'll be what it is.
Okay.
So when it hits bumps, it goes, it's
Yeah,
harder, whereas
yeah.
the cheaper one probably has softer suspension. Because the sportier feel if you have stiff suspension.
But they're not that different depending on the range.
Essentially, they only come in 3 styles. The Genesis, you get the standard, you get the sport, and you get the luxury.
Yeah.
The luxury has like a few like additional fittings, and it's got a panoramic roof, which a lot of people like. We like that. But what I was going to say was that the standard version of these Genesis cars literally have all the bells and whistles already. Like the additional stuff that you can pay for is just really excessive. I feel like we didn't need it. So I just looked at Jamie and said, let's just get the basic one. Like we don't need to spend all this extra money on like these really like out there outlandish extras. That,
Also,
to be
we
honest,
can't
like
afford.
yeah, I mean it's unnecessary expenditure, right?
Yeah,
It really was. And so we came out of Genesis and we were like, Yes, that is the car. And then there was the question of replacing our Mini, which was our little baby car that we used to bomb around, which I blew the head gasket on. So that is dead. And now it got scrapped, unfortunately. I basically almost got the same amount of money for scrapping it than I would have for selling it. So it doesn't really matter to me.
You minused out the max. You shouldn't have got that new radiator.
I know. I thought it was just a radiator that needed fixing, and so did everyone else. So I did it. It cost me 300 quid. And the car was still broken.
If I was the guy, I would have refunded you the money.
I know, but he had to pay for a brand new radiator, and it was the labour, so I understand that he wouldn't do that. But yeah, it was still annoying.
Just pay for the radiator.
I didn't pay him to diagnose the car. I literally just paid him to fix it, put a new radiator in. That was it. So he didn't even
maybe if you paid for the diagnosis, you wouldn't have had to use the radiator because you realised it was both.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Why am I getting the shit eye from you today? What's going on?
Because you are so angry with me at the moment.
I'm not angry at all.
Yes.
I'm not angry, but yeah, what we're doing is replacing the Mini with a little electric Peugeot. So that's the car story.
Woohoo!
Fun days ahead with 2 brand new cars.
I'm excited for the Peugeot 206 as well.
Yes, it is good.
It looks nice.
Rocket this morning, what's new with him? Had an absolute leveler of a tantrum.
So the tantrums are getting a bit too much at the moment. The way he acts with me, I feel like he's way worse with me than anyone else.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like even feeding him, we struggle with the feeding time. We do not get on.
Feeding's hard. I feel like we have to remain.
You're
as
very
calm
stern
as
with
possible.
him, and I'm like, it's okay, da, 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 da. And I'm like, and then I'll just go, I can't go with this.
Yeah, if you let him off from like eating, then of course he's just going to be like, well, then mummy will let me off. So then it's fine.
Today he decided he wanted to open this yogi, so I opened the yogi, and apparently he didn't want the yogi open, so I closed the yogi again, took him upstairs. I had to go into the shower. Barney, I don't know what you were doing. You were like bouncing around trying to sort something out. So I go into the shower and all I can hear is yogi, yogi. So I thought he was crying about the fact that I'd closed the yogi. But no, he opened the yogi and decided to spread this yogi all over the bedroom. So it was on the floor, on the wall, up the side.
Yeah, I came
and
upstairs.
I literally was like, oh, of course. And he was crying for no reason. Why was he crying for the yogi?
Oh
Just
my
losing
gosh,
it.
the crying started way earlier than that. The crying was kind of when we came downstairs for the first time. When we came downstairs, we chilled for a bit. He cried.
In bed, wasn't it?
He wanted to. In bed, he was just going, where's mummy? And you were downstairs doing your meditation. So I went downstairs. You went into your office, and so me and him chilled, watched Lion King for a little bit, and he was chilled. And then it came to kind of like eating porridge and hanging out with us both, and then he started getting tantrumy, and then you took him upstairs, and it just got worse, and it built and built. And then the yogi thing happened, and then he was just on the floor like, ah!
And then he came up to me when you went downstairs and he was like, Mommy, like a little zombie, like walking over,
mate.
rocking side to side. And I just held him there and I was like, it's okay, big feelings, big feelings. And then I sat him while I was doing my hair. And he was like, oh, he loves that little seat with me because there's so much to see and do.
Yeah, all the makeup and stuff. And but last time he did that, he grabbed your glitter.
Oh my God, he's done that twice
And
now.
the glitter went all over the floor.
And then your mum came, I didn't know she was coming that night, came up and she saw this glitter everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. She also found something else.
That we won't mention on the pod. We know she's found it or seen it and hasn't said anything. And it's bloody hilarious. And
then
Jamie's mortified.
I'm mortified. And then
It's just in the drawer in our bathroom. Let's just leave it at that.
and then our
That's for your
cleaner
imagination.
came the other day and saw
Something else.
something else. And I was like, oh my God, we need to get better at having like, you know, like just having a little space for it, like a box, like a private box that we tuck away under the bed, maybe in a locked
in a safe.
which is so annoying because like when you're getting intimate
No,
about the situation.
no.
When we can talk about it because this is a parenting podcast and everybody's done it on a parenting podcast or a couples podcast. But when you're getting intimate, you don't want to go, shall we get the thing out of the box in the safe? Where's the key? And like,
That's
you know
what
what I mean?
Like, you don't want to put it in a safe.
It just takes the sexiness away from it. You need it to be easily accessible.
Yes. You do. Right.
do.
One thing that I've actually was something I mentioned earlier is that I went to saw the dentist earlier
And
today.
moving on.
Swiftly. Went to see the orthodontist or Invisalign man earlier today. So
Oh,
my
no.
Invisalign is basically finished. I've done, I think, 12 sets of Invisaligns to like move my teeth. And now Jamie's very pissed off with me because I finished before her. 24
and
in.
it's still not
but
moved.
Jamie's a perfectionist, A. B, you're very funny about your teeth, so I totally get it that you want to do it for longer and make sure they're perfect. And you have like, you know, trauma when it comes to your teeth. So I think that you're doing very well. I finished mine-ish. Like, I've got to still carry on with them for a couple of weeks, and then they're going to take off these gluey things that are on the front, which are horrible.
I feel like these two can still move forward, but he says he's going to put composites on these, doesn't he? Composite teeth.
But whenever we talk about our Invisalign, we say your teeth. And the funny thing is, whenever I see you before we go to bed, we're always like, oh, I can't find my teeth. I can't find my... And we're so old. And we're like, I can't find my teeth. Have you seen my teeth? And yesterday, we were upstairs, and you kept reiterating to me that you have found my teeth and not your teeth. But you kept saying it in a way that essentially all you were trying to do was get me to get up and go, fine, I'll get yours from downstairs.
I kept thinking my teeth were your teeth. No, I kept thinking your teeth were my teeth, so I kept picking them up and trying to put them in my mouth. And going, why did they not fit my mouth? And they tasted weird, and I was like, oh, this is not my teeth. But then I did it again because I kept coming back and going, where is my teeth? So then I had to get a new.
Scatty.
Yeah, I had to get a new fixture.
So you went down. So eventually, after trying to bribe me to go downstairs to like go and get her teeth for her because we were both going to bed, she eventually went down. And then you called up to me. You were like, I still can't find them. So I came downstairs. They were literally exactly where I told you that they were.
You were like, I can't see them. And then you put your hand down and then
they were there.
Them. But they're so invisible.
They're camouflaged.
The thing is that was the other day. This was yesterday. We have this amazing new cleaner that she comes in and helps us with things just because of our crazy lifestyle. And she moves absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't speak English. So I can't turn around and be like, can you just not put things like she'll take like a whole bunch of stuff and shove it in drawers? And there's me being like, I need to know. I'm a bit OCD. I need to know where everything is. Even if it's a bit messy, it's like organised mess. I need to know where it is. So this has been like, I said to her, oh my God, I'm wasting so many hours trying to find things. And it's really frustrated me. Even our friend, she came in today. She was like, have you seen my... the last time I saw these USB wallet thing, she said, was at yours, but I know you're so organised, so I know you would have found it. And I was like, to be honest, we have a new cleaner. She could have put it somewhere.
She could have tucked it underneath the sofa or something.
Yeah, it's hard. But the teeth thing, I'm just really upset that
That's
you have
Jamie's brain trying to figure out what she's going to next.
No.
So, yeah, it's hard. Oh, yeah, the teeth thing. I can literally hear the cogs working in your brain just then.
You know how many more I have? So the box I've just been delivered.
Yeah, you've just got your latest box.
Has like 6 fittings in there.
So you'll be on 30.
I think I'm going to probably do 34.
Dude, that's so many. You don't need to do that many.
The max is like 42. Yeah,
why would you do that?
It's just these two on the left.
But I can't even notice them until you do that. And you pull your teeth
funnily
down.
enough, because we have to drive so far because we live in the middle of nowhere, so we have to drive an hour down the road to go to our dentist for the orthodontist dentist. To go to our normal dentist is only 10 minutes away. So I went to my normal dentist the other day, who referred me to this orthodontist, and he was like, let me make a tiny bit of space because that one seems to be struggling and moving, even though he's not my orthodontist.
And he's not supposed to do that.
He's not meant to do that. But I was like, can you just give it a little shave? Because obviously it needs a little bit of a space to be able to move over, because that's why it's not moving. And the day after, I woke up. No, I woke up and I'd already seen it moved so much more. So it made a big difference. Just that tiny little bit shaving off.
Shout out to the dentist for doing that, but that's naughty.
But I have had years of treatment, and those things stay with you when you have trauma as a child. I was 11 when I was hit by a car and I smashed all my teeth out, and they were all my big teeth. And you don't get big teeth again. So this has been an ongoing thing for years. And I feel I'm very cautious of Rocket's teeth, because obviously he had that damage and it's now starting to go grey on his front tooth.
Yeah, it is.
Underneath. But it's his baby tooth. But she said when we took him to the dentist, it may have affected his next teeth that will come through. But I'm really hoping it doesn't, because I don't want him to go through that. And why is it always the front teeth? My dad had bad front teeth. I have bad front teeth. And now he's got his like half chip. We wanted to take him into modelling, and he's just not going to be accepted in modelling because of his little chipped tooth.
Chippity teeth.
Or maybe they'll like it. bit of
Bit of character.
bit of character.
Bit of character. Tells a story.
How would you think about putting him in a modelling?
Oh, I don't know. That industry's a bit like...
Because you were a model.
Yeah, in the world of male modelling, it is a lot more chill. Like the world of female modelling is a lot more cutthroat, a lot more competition, a lot more nastiness. And it also depends on what kind of modelling, because you have commercial modelling, which is a lot more chill. That's like a Lucozade advert. That's like things like ASOS or like, you know, the happy, smiley kind of campaigns.
And they
like,
do acting bits as well,
yeah,
right?
it is, 'cause it's kind of a combination of acting and modelling is commercial modelling, right? You're doing TV adverts, you're doing like the happy-go-lucky, you're doing e-commerce. Whereas high fashion modelling is very cutthroat no matter who you are. Like if you're a bloke or if you're a woman or everything in between, it's extremely cutthroat, just because it's like so much sass and so much ego and so much, you know, money. Because in the editorial space there's no money until you're at the top, and then when you're at the top there's loads of money thrown at it. So for instance, a lot of the time I know people that have walked in fashion shows for like Burberry and they don't pay you. What? But then if you're a top model,
is it because
and
you're
exclusively walking for Burberry, they give you like 30 grand to walk for them.
But that's the same with like DJing. So for instance, if Tomorrowland emailed me and was like, can you play this festival?
It would be for free, right?
It would probably be for free.
Exactly, yeah. And so I get it.
Spent money.
But like in the editorial space, like, yeah, if you modelled for Vogue, they're not going to give you anything. But if you were like, you know, Kit Butler, who's probably the top male model in the world right now, he'd get a bundle of money to do Vogue because he's a recognisable face and blah, blah, blah. Or if you got like, you know, Cara Delevingne or, you know, okay, she's a bit different. She's an actress,
children models.
So when it comes to child modelling, like, yeah, it's a lot of happy-go-lucky. You have to have a parent or guardian with you at all times. And our schedule's already mental. So us taking the time off to go with him to go and do modelling jobs might not really be that feasible.
But I'd only let him do that if he enjoyed it. Like,
yeah, obviously. I mean, people get a bad rep, right, for being like dance mums or being like parents of creative people or parents of performers, because they're kind of like, oh, you're forcing them into something too young. Actually, all you're really doing is providing them with an opportunity, and if they thrive in that opportunity, that's great, and if they don't, then you just take them away from it. So all you're doing is going, right, why don't you try ballet, or why don't you try jazz, why don't you try contemporary, and then now why don't you try commercial dancing? Oh, you're really good. Okay, well, why don't you go into TV commercials as a dancer?
well, this is what, when I was reading Britney's biography,
Yeah, you were.
it said in there, the autobiography, it was just like, my mom didn't know what to do with me because I was always dancing and singing, and it was like, put her in something, and then I thrived in that, and I wanted to do it, but it was going and teaming up with the wrong people. People basically attach themselves to you who are bad, and that's where the things will start to go wrong. Like Amanda Bynes, that situation.
Yeah, there will always be, you know, sharks in the industry, people that take advantage of people. And I guess it's your responsibility as a parent, if your child is going to go into something like modelling or acting or whatever, to oversee everything that they do and to make sure that they stay grounded and to make sure that no sharks come swimming around and go, oh, I could make your kid like a star. They could be the next Harry Styles. You've got to be able to see through it, because people promise you the world in all of those kinds of industries. And you've got to be really, you know, tuned in to the bullshit, or your bullshit radar has to be really good.
So Nickelodeon came out with that documentary.
Crazy, right?
And I read something terrible the other day that I don't know why Amanda Bynes wasn't part of the
Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon documentary.
Thing,
What was it on for the record? Not for the record.
It was Quiet on Set.
Quiet on Set. That was it. I read somewhere that she was actually like molested by the main guy. And she actually fell pregnant.
No.
And was forced
to have
the abortion.
Though?
But this is just a
so
rumour.
Who knows? Yeah.
And it was on Twitter.
That's not factual,
or TikTok or something that I saw. And this is why it's made her go absolutely crazy.
Like Doolally,
she's, if you see the progression of what she was
to what she is now,
and to what she is now.
You know, eyebrows, mate. Those eyebrows are serious. We watched a video of hers the other day.
Thought
actually,
it was a
randomly.
joke.
I actually thought it was like satire. I thought she was taking the piss, and her eyebrows are like this thick.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was dyeing them or something, or I don't know. But I was just like, something's not right here. It's kind of like Britney with the mascara situation, isn't it? Really?
I mean, I don't know what that is, but the problem is they're all child stars. Whereas you have somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's a child star, and seemed to stay grounded. I've heard so much crap about Leonardo DiCaprio recently, by the way, on my feeds of all this stuff. Yeah, just that. Is that your TikTok turn on?
Apparently, on a weekly basis, he contacts all these modelling agencies in LA, and writes to them which girls he wants to invite to like a huge cinema night. And so he invites like 30 girls round to his house to watch a movie, and he hangs out with them and he talks to them. And then by the end of the night, he's kind of picked one that he likes, and then he asks them to dinner. And apparently it's just like a recurring thing, and it happens all the time. And there was a funny story that someone in particular was talking about regarding this situation. And there was a girl that he knew who was a model. That's not he, as in the guy that was talking about this, not Leonardo DiCaprio. This guy knew this girl who went to one of Leonardo DiCaprio's parties. They were chatting. She had a boyfriend who said to her, "You should go. Oh my God, when would you ever get another opportunity to hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio? You should go." So she goes, hangs out with him. He's like, "Let's go for dinner." And she goes, "No, I've got a boyfriend. I've told you this already. I don't want to go." And he's like, "Come on." And then they're chatting back and forth, and he's trying to convince her. And then eventually, after him trying so many times, she just kind of like snaps and just goes, "Leo, we've been hearing that you've been doing this for like a really long time. This has been years now. Every week you have all these models, you have all these girls, you go out for dinner with one of them, you probably hook up with them." She's like, "Doesn't it get to a point where it's just like, enough's enough?
Yeah.
Like, I've had too much pussy."
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then he looks at her and takes a beat and goes, "Just one more." I was
That
like, "No!"
must be fake. That
I
must
don't know.
be
This is a
fake.
story that a girl that was invited to one of the parties told her friend.
I
about
would be so
Leonardo
terrified
DiCaprio.
to say that to
So
him,
it is
though.
hearsay. But I mean, if he's trying to hook up with you and you've got a boyfriend, we got nothing to lose. All you want, he's going to ask you to leave. That's
No,
it.
of course, yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
I would
crazy to say
respectively
that.
decline, just respectively.
Yeah, but she eventually was like, because he was niggling, oh, like, come on. She was probably just like, "Dude, come on, enough's enough."
Yeah.
And then he's like,
It's like they think they can get anything that they want to get.
it's great. Apparently he's got like his mum like has the final say on if he like dates someone. How crazy is that? Yeah, supposedly like if he dates someone, he like goes to his mum after his mum's met them and seeks her approval. If she goes, "Yeah, they're cool," he carries on dating her. If his mum doesn't like them, he dumps them.
Oh my God.
Apparently he's dating a 19-year-old
Oh,
right
don't
now.
even. But
Bro, he's like
talking
45.
Talking of actors.
Yes.
We met an
Oh my
actor,
gosh. Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
on stage, and you were like, you came running upstairs,
Yeah.
really excited. You went, "Guess what?"
Yeah.
And there was me cranking my brain, being like, "Who is this? Who is this?"
Yeah, I need to explain how this went down because this was actually like, it was phenomenal. We went to we had actually the lady who who works for this company, ParentFolk, on the podcast recently. Shannon, if you haven't seen the episode, make sure you go check it out. Click on the pop-up banner up here if you want to go see it on the YouTube channel. But her name was Shannon. She's amazing. She ran this festival called ParentFolk. They had an event that we attended recently, and we're plodding around. Loads of parents are showing up for the first stage of the event, and then they all leave, and then the next load of parents come in the afternoon. It's kind of like a rolling in, rolling out situation. Jamie's on stage, she's DJing. I'm like going around filming, chatting to loads of parents, just asking them questions about products and about their life as a parent. And in walks this guy, and you know me, I am obsessed with movies. So if I ever meet like actors or anything like that, I'm just like, it clicks. Like instantly I know this person is.
So weird because he looks so different. He
If
had
I've
like
seen
a
you in a
hat
movie-
and glasses.
Yeah, if I've seen you in a movie, I will recognise you. Even if you're wearing a hat and glasses. This guy walks in, totally chill. Shorts, flip-flops, jean jacket, sunglasses and a hat. And I'm walking into the room as he's walking out of a room. And I just catch eyes with him and I just immediately stop and go, "That's Josh Hartnett." And I turned around and I just saw him walk away. And I was like, "That's Josh Hartnett." And that's
At a
first thing I ever
parenting
saw him in.
event.
40 Days and 40 Nights, one of my all-time favourite like coming of age movies, like American Pie era, of him not having sex or masturbating for 40 days and 40 nights because it's like becomes a problem for him. Pearl Harbor, Black Hawk Down, Lucky Number 11, like 30 Days of Night. Like he's done so many banging films. And I just saw him and was like, holy shit, he's here. Why?
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 We are there. It was so weird. So we went there to kind of like, we were going to do a live event, but it was the South show. So we decided to
It was the South show.
It was the first time they did an event in the South.
There you go, bosh.
So we were at the yard in Hampshire, and he lives really, really close to there. We didn't even think, but apparently, like,
had
it's
no
a
idea.
place you come and you get your coffees, and then the cyclists, you see so many cyclists stopping, getting their coffee, jumping back on their bikes. So this was the space that they had. You had to pay to come in. I wonder if they charged him.
Great coffee, by the way, there. Oh,
Was it?
yeah, it's great coffee there. I gave you one, didn't I?
No, I didn't really like it.
The coffee, it was lovely.
Whoever made my coffee wasn't so sure.
Ugh.
But anyway, so we did this event, and I just kept seeing him back and forth, like, and then he looked up at one point, and I was like, I see he recognises me.
Yeah, so I ran up to you and I said, babe, Josh Hartnett's here. She was like, who are you talking about? So I was explaining to you, because you're not good with names, but you're good with faces. Yeah. So I'm trying to explain to you who he is, and you're like, oh my God, he's here? Why is he here? Yeah. And the only reason we could decipher was because he has a house fairly nearby.
And has lots of children.
4 kids. Wow. 4 kids, 4 girls.
And I said to Barney, I was like, make friends with him. He has kids around the same age. We can be friends with Josh Hartnett.
We need dad parents. Oh, it's not dad parents, dad friends.
We need more friends.
And I was walking around interviewing people for the event. So, you know, like I said earlier, talking to them about products and baby things and whatever. So I went up to him and his wife, who was sat down with my friend, actually, Sarah, who was kind of leading the charge. Like, I'm going to go ask him if he wants to be interviewed. And I was like, oh, Sarah, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a guaranteed no. But you know what? Roll of the dice. Why not? She went over and I was like, ask the wife first, because this could be good. Because then he might think, oh, it might disarm him a little bit. Because then he might go, oh, like, do they not recognise me? Like, why would they not ask me? So I was like, ask the wife to do an interview with her. Ask the wife. And the wife goes, oh, I'm actually really shy. And I was like, bitch, you ain't shy. You're an actress. What are you talking about? And then she leans to Josh Hartnett and goes, do you want to come and be interviewed? Ask a couple of questions about being a dad. And he said, I'd like to politely decline. Thank you very much. And I was like, that's such a nice answer. I fucking hate you.
No, you fucking love him.
Oh, I love him. Yeah, he's great. But you know what? He's got a new movie coming out soon called Trapped, where he plays a serial killer. And he's actually really good at playing villains. I didn't realise this, but actually he plays villains as well.
Doing chick flicks all your life. Like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, great example.
He was always doing chick flicks all the time. And then one day he decided enough is enough. I want to stop this.
Do you know how he did it?
He left.
Quit acting for like years.
For years. But it's a little bit like my live events kind of thing. Like I've kind of like established myself doing the live events, but I really want to get into the whole melodic house era of my career. And I really feel like I have to kind of stop promoting live events or not doing, because it is good for income at the end of the day. We still have to earn, and things are so expensive at the moment. Yeah. But you shouldn't really advertise for it if that's not your goal in life. So there's the difference. And yeah, hopefully things will move. But this is what I liked about Matthew McConaughey is he did that, and now he's doing the actual parts that he wants to do. I think it was the Lincoln.
Oh, when he was like, oh, that's going to really piss me off.
When he did the transition.
Yeah, it's that movie was when he plays the lawyer. And the movie
Lincoln
is called
Lawyer.
The Lincoln Lawyer. Yeah, it is the Lincoln Lawyer. Okay, yeah.
And then that was like his first serious role, and apparently that positioned him into getting more parts.
He had to
to remove himself from the industry, because he was like being offered. If you read his book, he explains it all on there.
Green Light, right?
Green Light. Such a good biography. Autobiography. It's so inspirational, and he also has like loads of podcasts where he talks about it as well. But he kept everything. He journaled. He was a big person for journaling.
Matthew McConaughey, if you want to come on the Don't Tell Mum podcast, bro, that would literally make our year. Can you imagine having a chat with him? He's a really insightful guy.
You know how I was like, I'm gonna get the sensational sleeping pan author, Alison Scott Wright on there. You need to act the same about Matthew McConaughey.
You want me to get Matthew? I'm going to get Matthew McConaughey on the podcast.
There you go. You do it.
Like, I'm going to do it.
Manifest that, baby.
I'm doing it.
You do that.
I will.
Yeah. And we'll still only get like 100 listens.
You are so right. But you know what? I love it. It doesn't even matter to me. Yeah,
it's a bit like therapy, this, isn't it?
Yeah, he had to like turn down like so many chick flicks. And then when he came back in to do Lincoln Lawyer, he also had to lose loads of weight, so he was less like hunky. Mate, if you see him in like Dallas Buyers Club.
It's really hard to be skinny.
I know, oh my God, like I'm just so muscly. If you see him in Dallas Buyers Club, or if you see him in, what's the other one where he's really skinny? True Detective, the series. Oh my God, that's like the best series of all time.
Oh,
True
really?
Detective,
I didn't
so
like
good.
it.
The first season is unbelievable. It's terrifying.
But maybe it's because we watched it too late. Like anything past 9 p.m, I can't watch.
By the way, before we go, have you seen this stuff about Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson?
No.
That they might have the same dad. They might be related.
Oh, yeah, I saw this
Apparently
years
their
ago,
dad
though.
was like a top shagger and used to just like go around sleeping with everyone. And they think that it's the same dad.
No,
it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
No, Matthew McConaughey knows his dad very well.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's that. Fact check me. But I saw a video on it the other day that they could have the same dad.
Quickly. Where's my phone?
She's looking.
True detective stars could be related, but are yet to take the DNA test. In a new interview, Halston, 61, claims that Matthew McConaughey was born in 1969. McConaughey's father refused to go to the hospital, with the actor's mother telling her, "That ain't my son." The revelation, which comes in the article published by Esquire, follows an interview McConaughey gave last month in which he says, "My kids call him Uncle Woody. His kids call me Uncle Matthew. And you see pictures of us, and our family thinks a lot of pictures of him are me. His family thinks a lot of pictures of him are me. Of me or him." He continued, "In Greece a few years ago, we're sitting around talking about how close we are and our families. And my mum is there and she says, 'Woody, I knew your dad.' Everyone was aware of the ellipsis that my mum left."
What?
Ellipsis? Yeah, Ellipses.
Ellipses.
Ellipses that my mum left after knew. It was a loaded KNEW, so everybody knew. But no one talks about it. McConaughey said his mother's remark moved him to investigate his family's history.
Don't get the dyslexic one of the two to read out an article on the podcast. Oh, Bobs,
my mate said to me the other day when she listened to the podcast, she said, she was like, "The podcast is great because I know you, but I don't know if anybody else is going to relate because they don't know you." And I just thought to myself, I'm like, I am
Scatty.
the reason.
You're scatty as hell, and it's hilarious. Anyway, we've got more to do and things to do, and we've had an amazing time here. It's been a random episode, but a fun episode nevertheless. It's always fun hanging out with you, doing our therapy sessions and throwing phones onto the floor and being silly and wearing Pablo Picasso's childlike.
Just, if you insult
outfit.
this one more time, Mr.
better take it
Baseball
off for the
Cap
next
thinking it's
episode.
cool. What are you going to do with your hair? Are you going to keep it blonde? Or are you going to keep...
I think I'm going to cut it before I go to abroad for
This
work.
is my favourite length.
Well, I know, just
right
purely
now.
because it's so hot over there, I'll be sweating constantly.
I just love
So I
the
might just give it a
the
trim.
white tips.
I'll
are
give it a
just
trim.
The best.
Well, it's very 1990s, like frosted tips. Boyzone.
No, but you 100% suit. Like, you're one of those people that is going to suit grey hair, without
No matter
question.
what they tell you. I'm very Boyzone-esque right now. Anyway, I love you,
I love you.
and let's keep this train going.
I'm going to
even if
leave.
we have
Are you going
100
to say
listens.
a secret, Mr. Don't Tell Mum?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay. So you had to think about that.
Well, I have to think if there is one because I haven't prepared one because we do it so randomly. Sometimes I do one and sometimes I don't.
Well, because we can't do one when we have a guest. Ready?
Ready.
I'm leaving the podcast, guys.
Forever.
And you're going to say your secret. You know what? I actually always cut this bit out. When I edit it, I don't listen.
Watching you get out of that beanbag was absolutely hilarious. Really? You just beach whaled it out of the fucking beanbag. She was like, "Ugh." To be fair, I'm not going to be much more graceful, I don't think. She's leaving the room. Oh my gosh. So basically, Rocket has this thing at the moment where if he's not entertained by himself doing something, whether it's watching the TV, hanging out and playing with his toys in the living room and stuff, he kind of just like follows you. He's your shadow, which I'm sure that that's the same with a lot of toddlers. So with Rocket being like that, I think he was in the living room portion of our open plan kitchen / living room, and he was doing something, he was mucking around, and I was in the kitchen cooking, and I didn't see him sneaking up behind me to the left of me while I was opening drawers to like get into them to get cutlery out, to get plates out, and to get pots and pans out to do some cooking. So going into the pots and pans one at the bottom, little did I know that he had waddled on over and was like, "Daddy," and leaned down to, I don't know, pick something up off the floor or to do something, and I just opened the bottom drawer square into his eye, and he just went boom and flew back, and that's why he's now got a mark here on his eye and a black eye at the moment, and I just don't have the heart to tell Jamie. So that is my little secret. So remember, shh, don't tell Mum.
Don't tell Mom. Bye-bye.